Morning. So I just got finished putting all new hoses on. I put the new 3/4 inch hose on the heater core, new 5/8 hose on the heater core. I took all these pipes out, tried to clean them up as best I could. Checked the vacuum valve to make sure that it bypassed, right? So this is a goofy system where the water comes out of the intake system, goes in, and then when the air conditioner mode's on, it comes right back out and comes down this hose and right back to the water pump, right? And when it calls for heat, it just goes right from the engine across into the water, into the heater core, back out of the heater core, and then back to the engine. So I replaced this, just found a universal 90-degree hose. And then I bought like 3 feet of 5/8 hose. I used a piece of it here coming out of the back of the intake. I used a piece of it here at the radiator. Then I bought a 3 foot of a 3/4. I put a piece of it here coming out of the heater core and put a piece of it here coming out and going into the water pump. Kind of hard to figure it. There it goes back in there. So also put in a brand new AC Delco lower radiator hose while I was in there, and put in a brand new AC Delco upper radiator hose. So I've got both the radiator hoses done, all the heater hoses done. So the thing's pretty much ready to fire up. I have to put some fuel in it, and then we'll go ahead and give it a shot. All right, YouTube. All right, today we're going to start putting together some of this air conditioning stuff, and we'll so the first thing I'm going to do is put in the orifice tube. You notice on the orifice tube it has little ears. These ears have to go in last, right? Because we use them to pull the orifice tube back out. Go ahead and change out the O-rings. So that's good. So we've got our high pressure line, or line coming out of the condenser, high pressure, going into the evaporator. We put the orifice tube in. The orifice tube is what changes high pressure to low pressure. Okay, so we've got the new accumulator in, right? We've put oil into the accumulator. We talked about the J hook on the one side of the accumulator, and it's very important that you put the oil in the inlet side and not the outlet side, right? Because otherwise you start the compressor up, you've had that oil in the outlet side, it sucks it through that J hook into this compressor and then slugs the compressor. So next thing we'll do, put our line in. So we got that started. Slide this down into that hole. Get this started. We've got our O-rings on our compressor. Started. Make sure that we get our O-rings seated in there correctly. This line is sitting down in there. Got our 3/4. 7/8. Now before I took all this out of the box, I did put new O-rings on, obviously, and put a little bit of oil on the O-rings. So we've got that line down in there. That on. Get the hood prop out of the way. So the only things that are really not getting replaced on this entire air conditioning system is the evaporator. And sorry, I wanted to make sure I got that started correctly. The evaporator and the condenser. So the evaporator and the condenser seem not to leak. I replaced all the rubber lines. The metal line I didn't replace. I did change out the orifice tube. So You should be good that way. All right. Yeah, really watch these big wrenches. So easy to over torque something with this much leverage. Alright, so I've had this vacuum pump running for a little over an hour, pulling it down to about 500 microns. I've never done that, but my neighbor is an AC guy, so he had the gauge and we hooked it up. But basically, all I'm looking for is can it pull 30 inches of vacuum, and it has. So, and then if I shut this valve off, right, now if it had a leak, it would start climbing back up, and it's not. So that's a good thing, right? So there we go. I'm going to pull that off, and then I actually got the rear out from under it right now, so I don't want to start it without all that in there. And so next week we'll charge it up. All right, guys, thank you. All right, so this morning I'm going to charge this thing up. For one reason or the other, I keep forgetting to turn on the camera, but I put one can in, crimped it off, bled the line out to get all the air out of it. I put the car into a vacuum. I put the can in hot water to help it flush out. We're at about 80 psi on the low side, so we'll go ahead and start the car. That should bring the low side down to about 30, 35, which will pull the rest of that refrigerant out. I did happen to get a bunch of cans of the R12, so I am going to stay with the R12 rather than convert it to the 134. All right, so there must be an electrical problem somewhere. I don't know if it's a blown fuse or what, but I had to put power and ground to the compressor to make it come on. I don't know if one of my switches is going bad, if I have a blown fuse, what I have. Wasn't really expecting that, but that thing was freezing up. Everything looked good. I just got to take a look at this electrical problem and figure out why the compressor doesn't come on when I actually turn the air conditioner on. All right, thank you.